going on, guys? My name is Dan. Today I'm going to be giving you the best picks for the Ravens-Bengals Thursday Night Football game. Quick little review of Monday Night Football. We did profit about 24-30. Had some big calls, guys. We went with the unders on this game when pretty much everybody loved the overs against this bad Broncos defense. Even though they had a bye week and they played pretty well versus the Chiefs, as you see here are the picks that we played. My video, my 5-leg parlay video, if you guys check it out, it was on Monday night. I think I posted actually Sunday night. That went 5 for 5, so we turned 100 into 2,000. So breaking down the plays real quick, we correlated. We said Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs are both going to go under either yards for Allen, and then Diggs, I chose fantasy points. I preferred the fantasy points to the yards, but yards worked as well. He went under his yards. Both those obviously hit. Russell Wilson under his passing yards as well. That hit as well. You guys see I took Javonte Williams over 54.5 rushing yards. That hit. Broncos plus 7.5. Game total under 47.5. Those hit. Gabe Davis anytime touchdown. That missed. Sutton missed on his under. Cook hit on his over. Javonte did not score the first touchdown, and obviously the lay hit. But basically, I want to break down a little bit of the process behind building these types of parlays, like the 5-legger that did hit. Pretty much the way you want to go about it is you want to, in your mind, come up with how you imagine this game will go. So with the Broncos game, as you could tell with the under I took on the total and the Broncos plus 7.5, I thought it was going to be a closer game, a lower scoring game. Turned out to be right. And when you do pick those types of games, it tends to be less passing, more rushing. That's why I like the under on both quarterbacks, and I like the under on both starting wide receivers. Jerry Jeudy hit his under. I went with Courtland Sutton, but Jerry Jeudy did his under. I guess he's technically the wide receiver one. And obviously, Diggs also hit his under. We want to really use correlation in these types of lays. So Josh Allen and Stephan Diggs, if Josh Allen throws for 300 yards, it's very likely that Stephan Diggs also goes over his yardage total, right? Like if Stephan Diggs only has 25 yards in this game, I mean, Josh Allen would have to put on a masterclass with Gabe Davis to throw for over 275, right? So you want to be smart. You don't want to take Josh Allen over with Stephan Diggs under. It makes no sense. That being said, you also want the other side of your lay, the Broncos side of the lay, to make sense as well. So I took Russell Wilson's under, thinking it's a lower scoring game. In that environment, I said in my video, Javonte Williams probably going to get a lot of touches. If there's not a whole lot of scoring, if Denver doesn't have to come from behind, he should get a lot of carries. He got 21 carries, easily hit his over. He had like 79 yards. That's kind of the process, okay? Now, the second part of the process is knowing where to place this lay. You don't want to do it on like a FanDuel or DraftKings, one of those places that understands correlation. Now, I brought up right here, I'm showing you guys right here. For Thursday night, these are some of the picks I like. Lamar Jackson under passing yards, Joe Burrow under passing yards, Jamar Chase under receiving yards, and Gus Edwards over his rushing yards. This on FanDuel would turn $100 into $691. It is plus 691 odds. Now, if you do the same thing on Underdog Fantasy, let me get the picks for you right now. Joe Burrow's under, Jamar Chase is under. Who's next? Lamar Jackson under, and Gus Edwards over. You see, I put in 100 here. This would pay $1,000 no matter what, because their payout structure on Underdog Fantasy doesn't change based on the picks you make. So if I made this super stupidly and just not correlated, I put Jamar Chase over with Joe Burrow under and Lamar Jackson over with Mark Andrews under, something that makes no sense, it would still pay you 10x no matter what. So $1,000 payout versus a $691 payout, that's a $300 difference. That's why you really want to be doing this on Underdog Fantasy, okay? With Underdog as well, when you join with code DNR, they'll match your first deposit up to $100, and on top of that, they'll give you a Joe Burrow half a yard prop for new users. So when you join Joe Burrow, his line will be at half a yard instead of 257. So if you're scared of this under, just take his over on half a yard. You're going to win. That's with code DNR, okay? Now, the reason I like these picks with these lowers on tonight's game, it's a divisional game with two teams who are playing pretty solid on defense. Now, the Ravens have given up the most pass attempts in the league. Teams are throwing on them a ton, but they give the least they have the least fantasy points allowed to wide receivers, okay? I can bring that up right here, actually. On this tab I have right here. So we go over here to wide receivers, fantasy points per game. Quarterbacks, fantasy points per game. you'll see the Baltimore Ravens by far 12.2. That is by far the lowest in the NFL. Then you go to passing attempts allowed. They've given up the most pass attempts. So that just screams that this defense is legitimately great, okay? Like Joe Burrow's under. I know a lot of people are saying he's thrown 300 yards in a row for 3 different games. Those are much worse defenses he's went up against. He is missing T. Higgins. So in games that T. Higgins is out, you normally would love to take a Jamar Chase over, and I totally respect that. Marlon Humphrey is also out in this game. So if you really want to take a Jamar Chase over and Joe Burrow over, that's fine with me. You just have to correlate your whole game in that aspect. If you think it's going to be a high-scoring game with a lot of passing, you want Lamar Jackson's over, you want Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, maybe one or both those guys over like together. You just want to make sure you're telling a story that makes sense. In this game, the story I'm trying to tell with Gus Edwards over here is same thing with the Bills game, a clogged, gross, slow-paced game where the Ravens are going to give their starting running back, 12 to 15 carries and keep it a lower scoring game. Joe Burrow won't have enough pass attempts. Lamar Jackson has only hit this over in 3 out of his 10 games. He's gone under 7 times, so I already like that number. And earlier when they played this year, it was a lower scoring game where Joe Burrow only threw for like 222 yards. Basically, that's kind of where my head's at. If you guys do like the other side of that lay, though, if you guys want to tell a story of this game being a shootout, I would go something like Jamar Chase over, Tyler Boyd over, Joe Burrow over, Lamar Jackson over, and like Mark Andrews or Zay Flowers over. Or if you want to do Mark Andrews plus Zay Flowers plus Lamar Jackson and running back with like Jamar Chase over, that works too. But in this instance, I do think the divisional matchup, they tend to be lower scoring games. The over-under in this game is 46.5. I do prefer that under. I do think the Ravens have a slight advantage in this game. They're -3 favorites, and they're at home, so I do prefer the Ravens here. The one thing in this lineup that is a little scary is Gus Edwards' rushing yards, where it could be Keaton Mitchell getting a lot of the workload. They did say he's going to get more of the workload, but they also said that last week, and they only gave him 3 rushing attempts. Now, on those 3 rushing attempts, he was very good. He had about 36 rushing yards on 3 attempts. That's great. His line right now is set at, I believe, 36 yards. Let's bring that up right here. Yeah, Keaton Mitchell, 36.5 versus Gus Edwards, 46.5. I just prefer the Gus side of this. He had 11 carries last week. He's hit his over 7 out of 10 games this year, even with, Justice Hill, J.K. Dobbins, them taking some of the work earlier on. I just think that he's the guy. Oops, some of the yardage changed. Look at that. Look at that. We actually got some better yards, guys. Joe Burrow's at 259 now. I like that under more. Obviously, like Chase's under more. Like Lamar's under more. I don't like Gus's over as much now, but I'm still going to take it. Quick little updates. I guess we'll accept these on live right here. But yeah, that's basically where my head's at, guys. I'm going to be coming out with probably 3 videos a week of betting type of videos for Monday night, for Thursday night, and maybe I'll do 2, maybe Friday and Saturday, but at least 1 for the weekend slate, of course. That'll be a bigger video, maybe 20 to 30 minutes of me just completely breaking down the slate and all the games and what I think of them. But yeah, that's going to do it for today, guys. If you guys like these types of videos, make sure you show me a lot of support, because who knows how long I'll be doing this if you guys don't want to, watch these types of videos. So I'm just trying to give you guys what you want. After I went 5 for 5 on Monday, I had a lot of people telling me, please give us a better breakdown of how you go about these picks. That's what I'm trying to do, okay? So leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know where I went right, where I went wrong, all that good stuff. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.